and I hand the microphone over to Marleen of Manon. And I think
that's geluid, ja. Yes, thank you, Ruth. I'm going to share my screen first of all. So I can start. Okay. Yes, well, first of all, of course, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to tell something about our experiences in the final stage of HD. I'm going to talk about PDL care for patients with HD. And I am Manon van Kampen, an occupational therapist from the Netherlands. I'm specialized in HD and in PDL care. I work at Atlant. I'm a colleague of Ruth, so we're in the same room. And I, as an occupational therapist, work in our outpatient clinic. So I visit our patients at home. I treat them also in our daycare and facility and in our nursing home. And I love to work together, to team up with my colleagues from the multidisciplinary team, and of course the patients and of course the patients and their families. And another thing that I love to do is to team up with my specialized colleagues, OTs from the Netherlands and from Europe. My passion is do with something small. I think you can make a big difference, and especially with HD. So let's talk about PDL, because with that, doing something small, you can do something that makes a big difference. What would I like to share with you? Well, why did we start? What's PDL care, our experiences, and of course our plans for the future. Why did we start with PDL care? Well, nee, mag ik hem zelf? Oh. Sorry. Yes. Sorry, why did we start? In 2015, several nurses and caregivers noticed that patients in late stage HD had pain and discomfort during washing and dressing. And also I noticed that there was a physical overload for these patients, but also for the nurses. So then I thought, hey, let's look for some alternatives and caring tools. As an OT, I think one of the things we do is we look for possibilities, and sometimes we are going in the directions of most of the times in going in the directions for using caring tools. But this time I thought, well, let's think outside the box and let's have a look at our basic care. So we did with the team, and we came up with, hey, let's start using PDL care. Well, what's the difference between regular and PDL care in our nursing home? I think regular care, the focus of regular care is maintaining the ability to do everyday things like walking around or going to the bathroom on your own. And it's also, regular care has also the focus on maintaining mobility as long as possible, where PDL care focuses more on stabilization and dealing with disabilities for which no recovery is possible. In PDL care, there's more use of the residual energy and more, as it has more the focus on the wishes of the patients. So I think, and also in my experience, the patients feel more safe during care activities as washing and dressing. And when you look at it that way, you can more specifically look at the needs of the patient, because you zoom in on what you do with the patient. What's PDL care? PDL stands for Powerless in Daily Living. It's a Dutch multidisciplinary care method, and it has care advice and techniques about personal care, lying in bed, sitting, moving, and eating. This is a beautiful example, I think. It's one of our orthopedic support pillow sets we use, and it gives comfort and help relax and tense the posture. Well, why did we start with PDL care? Now, because we think that dosing energy saves energy to do other more important activities, such as going to the ladies' club. It gives less stress and more comfort, and we experience that it makes more happy moments during daily activities who were stressful before PDL. This is one of my colleagues, Marianne on Dutch, and Miranda, you see her on top. She is one of our patients, and Marianne, I quote her when she says, Miranda's more relaxed now, she doesn't scream anymore. She's more comfortable and she can go to the ladies' club again. How do we apply PDL care? Well, it's all about working multidisciplinary, so you have to team up and work together. And of course, you can't forget the patients and their family. So you need to team up with each other, and you have to evaluate frequently. PDL care is one-to-one care, how difficult giving care may seem. And one-to-one care is possible with a different PDL action summary. It's quite different than how we learn to give care on when they are educated as nurses. So instead of 2-to-1 care in regular care, you can now use 1-to-1 care. And in PDL care, there's more use of tools to minimize the burdensome actions during care for patients and for the nurses. For example, we use special washing gloves, we'll use more turning sheets, and very important, we use adapted or white clothing. You can see some of the tools we use or the clothing we use on the pictures. How do we apply PDL care? I think one of the most important aspects of PDL care is to be in contact. Everybody knows the next phrase I'm going to use, never hurry, but always wait. I think that's the most important thing ever in giving care to our patients. And wait, but wait even more, give them time. And also you have to use eye contact, you of course have to use body language, let the patient get used to your hands, keep an eye on the hands. You have to use and keep an eye on them and use hand contact as much and to stay in contact as much as possible during care. You have to approach with a quiet voice, you have to avoid fast movements, and you have to perform care quietly if that's necessary. Sometimes, of course, patients love joking around, so you have to look at this from a patient point of view, of course. And also important, you have to create a pleasant environment. You can use calming music, pleasant light, not bright light, and you have to be aware that the patient doesn't get cold. Also in this picture, you can see using my colleague Yvonne, one of our nurses, that she used an haptonomic relaxing technique so she can relax the tense leg. This is a beautiful example in how Yvonne with her left hand is in contact with our patient Theresa, and she washes on the right side, and on top you see some adaptive clothing, and Yvonne told me it's so important to keep everything nearby so you don't have to walk away and end contact. Well, now I'd love to present you our short film, because I know it's difficult to imagine exactly what kind of care PDL care is after my words. So we made a short movie. I'm going to start it now.
PDL staat voor passiviteit van dagelijks leven. Het is een Nederlandse zorgmethode, voornamelijk bekend vanuit de dementiezorg en de verstandelijke gehandicaptenzorg. Tegenwoordig gebruiken wij deze ook binnen onze Huntington doelgroep.
verschil tussen ADL en PDL is dat je met de PDL het wassen en aankleden eigenlijk helemaal overneemt van de bewoner. Dit doe ik door een rustige omgeving te creëren, de bewoner aan te spreken en ook aan te raken fysiek. En ik vooral blijf herhalen dat ik het overneem en dat de bewoner dus eigenlijk niks hoeft te doen. Ik klop natuurlijk rustig aan. Dan loop ik naar binnen, doe ik een klein lichtje aan. Ik spreek de bewoner aan, loop naar diegene toe en raak diegene aan om echt contact te krijgen. Ik leg uit wat ik ga doen en benoem dat ze niet mee hoeft te helpen, dat ik alles overneem. Ik begin dan met het wassen van het gezicht. Dan sla ik de dekens terug tot ongeveer haar middel. Dan begin ik met het ontspannen van haar linkerarm. Dit doe ik via een bepaalde methode. En als haar arm dan ontspannen is, kan ik het nachtshirt uitdoen. Deze doe ik over haar hoofd en laat ik achter haar liggen. Daarna kan ik die zijde wassen en weer aankleden. Vervolgens loop ik om het bed heen om hetzelfde te doen aan de andere zijde. Daarna was ik de bewoner aan de onderkant van voren. Ik draai de bewoner naar mij toe, zodat ik aan de onderkant, de achterkant van de bewoner kan wassen. Ik doe de kleding goed. Ik leg de incontinentiemateriaal leg ik er goed onder. Daarna leg ik de tilmatten achter en draai ik de bewoner weer op zijn rug. En daarna kan ik met de tillift de bewoner uit bed helpen. Willem, waarom word jij geholpen met eten? Je hebt nu meer energie over. Als je wordt geholpen is het minder vermoeiend. Ja. Want motorisch zou jij zelf nog kunnen eten. Ja. En nu wij jou helpen, hou je meer energie over. En doordat je geholpen wordt, eet je meer en krijg je meer calorieën binnen. Je krijgt meer eten, dat klopt inderdaad.
Miranda is een heel goed voorbeeld. Miranda is een jonge vrouw, een actieve vrouw, die liep nog zelf. Maar ze was ontzettend druk en roepgedrag. En toen hebben we besloten om het helemaal van haar over te nemen. Dus dat we haar bed verzorgden, zodat ze niet meer zelf actief bezig hoefde te zijn. Dus we hebben haar alle zorg eigenlijk uit handen genomen. Dat hebben we gedaan door de lift in te zetten. Mevrouw dus op bed te verzorgen. Daar werd mevrouw erg rustig van.
So, first of all, a special thank you to Willem and Therese. They are watching us right now, so I want to say hi and thank you so much for being in our movie, and of course Yvonne and Marianne as well, even as Miranda. Well, especially for patients with ADHD in the final stage in relation to dementia, we have some experience about the difference. I wanted to tell you our experience with EHD. I think we start to apply parts of the method when patients are still very mobile and able to walk independent, but have behavioral problems because of cognitive problems. And it can prevent patients from being cognitively overloaded and being less overwhelmed, like Miranda. PDL can positively influence the career because there is less stress, and also this helps the patients and the caregivers or nurses during several moments of care, because it can be challenging for both of them to help them with severe career, for example, during care like washing and dressing. And with most patients, and this was a beautiful one, I think, you can discuss about their balance in load capacity. What do you need? You need skilled employees, you need materials and equipment, and it must also be adequate and within reach, and you can't do it alone. You need the cooperation trust from the managers, the care team, patients, family, and your colleagues. It's all about teamwork, and I think that's a beautiful thing and fun to do. How do we continue? I will speed up my presentation because of time, but in 2018 we did a case study, and we have some preliminary positive results. I think the conclusion was that caregivers and patients experience activities as washing and dressing as more meaningful, or meaningful without the more, where before the focus was more getting the job done for both parties. Regular care was experienced arduous and had to be done by 2 caregivers. And in conclusion, PDL does not require more time. You can see also here the result. Regular care doesn't take, PDL care doesn't take more time than regular care. How do we continue? Well, we are doing a follow-up study. What we will do, we will measure the effects of PDL with patients with EHD in a late stage. We will compare regular and PDL care by using the DSDAT and PAX-log, and we wanted to measure pain and discomfort in regular and PDL care, and we are going to compare those numbers. We are going to be interviewing the first responsible caregiver, and we are going to organize a focus group with PDL skilled caregivers working with EHD to gain insights. We are going to include 8 to 10 patients from our nursing home, and we will measure for 1 year, and we started last week. And of course, I really hope to tell you all about our results in the future. My last sheet, do you want to come in contact? This is my email address. Do you want to join a multidisciplinary working group for OTs? We share experiences about working as an OT. Check our posters and please come in contact with us. And we are organizing a webinar on the 23rd of November. And I love you all to join, of course. So you can email me if you want to participate. I have questions, but I think we ran out of time. But thank you so much for listening to me. And you have my email address to get in contact with me. Have a great evening, and here's Ruth again.
Stop sharing.